The other day, my grandmother woke up saying, "Let me get ready because Jesus is coming to take me today." I was raised by my grandmother since I was a baby. My grandfather had already passed away before I was born, and when I was 3 months old, my father also passed away. After all this, my mother moved in with my grandmother, so it was me, my grandmother, and my mother living together. However, when I was 4 years old, my mother met someone and ended up marrying him. When my mother left to live with him, I didn't want to go, so I stayed with my grandmother. My grandmother was very religious, a devout evangelical. I even used to joke with her, calling her Sister Koki. One Sunday, I woke up around 10 a.m., and my grandmother was already awake, sitting in the living room. I got up, had my breakfast, and sat with her. Out of nowhere, she stood up, smiled at me, and said, "Let me get ready because Jesus is coming to take me today." I looked at her and said, "Oh, Grandma, stop with those silly jokes." She looked at me and replied, "It's just the truth, my love." On Sundays, I usually ordered lunch, but that day she insisted on cooking. She even asked me what I wanted to eat. She cooked what I requested, and we had lunch together. After lunch, we cleaned the kitchen together, and after we finished, she went to take a bath. When she came out, she got all dressed up, fixed her hair, went to her room, sat on the bed, and started reading the Bible. I left her there quietly and went to my room to use my phone. Suddenly, I felt an overwhelming sadness, a tightness in my chest, and a desire to cry. I went to her room and asked if everything was okay. With a smile, she said everything was fine and added, "My dear, everyone will die someday, so when Grandma goes, please be okay and know that I love you very much." I hugged her for a while, then went to take a bath. As I was bathing, she told me she was going to take a nap. This was around 2 p.m. When 6 p.m. came, the time she usually got ready for church, she hadn't woken up. I went to wake her so she wouldn't be late. But when I touched her, she was already gone. She had passed away in her sleep, smiling. The cause of death was a heart attack. I was in shock for several days. It didn't seem real. I felt very guilty for not having listened or been able to help her. One night I dreamed of my grandmother. She was in such a beautiful place, a place that brought such peace. In the dream, she told me, "Grandma is fine, my love. Grandma is very well, very happy. This place is beautiful and Jesus is wonderful." That dream made me feel better. I knew she was okay, and since then, I felt more at peace. The longing is still great, of course. I know it won't go away, but I'm eternally grateful to God for the opportunity to be my grandmother's granddaughter. I hope to one day have at least a little of the faith she had. This story isn't mine, but from a follower who sent it to me.